So our test, as you know, is next Monday, because we got iced up and all pushed around here, and then SAT is this week. That doesn't really affect you guys. Well, I mean, it doesn't affect you in this class, talking the second period. It does affect you that you have late arrival on Wednesday, so you guys can skip first and third and come in for fifth. So that's kind of nice for you guys. Because of that, I pushed things back because I didn't want to, so first and third would be short a review day and can't test the next day. So basically block day and Friday of this week are review, and then we'll test on Monday. Then it's a quick turnaround to the next test next Friday, and then we're off on spring break. This calendar doesn't show that, but it skips from the 12th to the 22nd because spring break is in there. All right, let's start with, so I guess the good news is we've covered a lot of stuff. There's only two more new things, and they're very much related. Inverse trig derivatives, that's today, driving forwards. Tomorrow, inverse trig integration, driving backwards. So we got a new car we're going to play with today. Today we'll drive it forward, tomorrow we'll drive it backwards, and then we'll review everything for a couple days before we test. Speaking of review, and to make sure our brain is thinking driving forward instead of driving backwards, here's some warm-ups where I ask you to find the derivative. So all of these are forward problems, right? Just take a derivative, not going backwards, no u substitution, drive forward. So give those a try, and then we'll go over them. Chain rule, chain rule, chain rule. As well as just knowing the basic rules. So what's the derivative of cosine? Negative sign, so negative, negative becomes positive. The argument stays the same. Right? The inside always stays the same, but then the chain rule times 6x squared. Number 2, derivative of natural log is 1 over the argument times the derivative of the argument. This would be cosine. And
put sin x in the absolute value?
That's a good question. I was afraid you were going to ask that. I think you do because it started that way over here. That's a good question, but on ones that are straightforward like this, that's most likely going to be on the multiple choice part. And I can't imagine they'd give you an answer that one that had absolute value and one that didn't. There'd be other stuff. Like the other choices would leave off the chain rule. That's always going to be one of the bad answer choices, is people who forget the chain rule, people who mess up the chain rule, people who mess up the original. Number 3 has a couple of links in the chain for the chain rule. So derivative of e to anything is e to whatever the thing was. But then we have to chain rule that. So the derivative of tangent of 3x squared would be secant squared of 3x squared. But then the derivative of that would be 6x. So we'd have bit of a mess on our hands there. And in multiple choice, they'd probably put the 6x first. It'd probably look like this. And again, there's plenty of places to mess that up and offer bad answer choices for that one. All right, so lots of chain rule in the warm-ups, and just the reminder of driving forward. If you drive backwards too long, you forget how to drive forward, I guess. So taking derivatives, because that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to have a lot of chain rule again today.